blessings, everyone. Okay. Well, I'm back here because again, I just wanted to show you the white sailboat. Okay, right here, the white sailboat. Now, I didn't realize the color codes the last video. So what I want to show you is this. Okay, so you know that this is my vision. All right, at the age of 12 years old, Jesus came to me and whispered in my ear and asked me if I knew, do you know that you have a Father in heaven? And it was immediately after that that I received the three visions. The first was the city on fire under a dome. Then there was the tunnel immersed in water with metal. And then there was the cable cord, the bridge over the water, swinging back and forth. So I'm looking at this from the east end, looking west, and what you see in this picture here is you see this mouse looking west, looking east, okay, from the west. You also see that this mouse is on the United States side, okay, on the opposite side of where I was standing on the Canadian side. Okay, so here we have a white sailboat, a white sails. Okay, so now here I wanted to bring you back to show you that this is a black sail. Okay, sailboat right here. It's black. Okay, again, the sun, the water, and there's so much more, but I'm just going to stay focused just with the boats. So it's black, right? And here you have the red sailboat. This is across the street out of the park, in the parking lot. And you can see that it's also in a round circle like the dragon. In the black circle, you have the red one here, also in a circle. Okay, the red sails. So here you have the dragon in the black circle. Now here's the plaque, International Dragon Boat for the Cure. And you have like a serpent thing going on here. So there you have the three sailboats, one white, one black, one red. You have the red sailboat in a circle along with the dragon in a black circle. Okay, red dragon. Okay, Edom. Edom. Not Adam, but Edom. Okay, and I found this very interesting. Okay, I can't use that picture. All right. Sorry. Here we go. Here we see a palisade, which I believe is a palisade. Okay. Bring it up a little bit if I can. There you go. Okay, so right here, this is what I believe to be a palisade. Okay. Also, I found that this here, the eyes on him. Okay, so I want you to notice his eyes. They're very spooky looking, yes, to say, you know. Right there, well, I don't know if you can see them, but like they're white and they got that little black dot, just a tiny pin dot right in the middle of the white of the eye. It's very demonic looking, not normal. And there's the palisade, okay? And then we have this guy here. And you can see the sword. And you can see there's a document, there's a scroll here in his hand. That's his, yeah. But here, right here, you could see the scroll and the sword. Okay. Okay, so I received a comment from a sister asking whether I had seen the 2012 Olympics concerning the virus. So I went over and I checked it out, and I found a lot. Really, I found quite a bit. I even found the elbow bump while they were, filming their little dancing and dancing around the kids and that. You could see them do the little elbow bump, which sealed it for me, really, that this was the virus. But there was so much more to that. And what happened was I was writing things down. I'm watching it, and it just hit me. Boom! Like, I need to go to 2008. What was going on in 2008? And so I was brought there, and all I could do was just shake my head. I was standing there very still, and I knew what I was looking at. And what I was looking at was everything that I have been talking about since I've been talking about Esau. And I brought in the shaman, Credo, who has passed away. And it was his knowledge that it sparked the whole thing with me with Esau, the mountains, the knowledge. So I looked into the ancient Africa. I wanted to know more about Africa. And this in scripture was Ethiopia. And when I realized that Ethiopia's river went right into the Garden of Eden, I was just tickled. I knew I had to keep going. I knew I was on the right path. And so I'm standing there and I'm saying, well, what am I supposed to be looking at here, if anything? And sure enough, it was the appearance of Cain and Esau. How Esau resembled Cain after Cain's punishment. It was after his punishment, okay, with the hair. Okay, I'm not even talking about the risk. I'm talking about the hair in the back of the neck, the way it's described here. So it was the appearance. That's what I needed to hold on to, and that was it. Okay, so then I thought when I was looking at the Olympics here, I could see this magnetic river that was being used as a scroll, and I knew that I was right where I was supposed to be when I'm looking at all of this stuff. Okay, so I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, I'm just going to observe right now. I'm not even going to pick at it. I'm not going to, okay. But all I could do was just shake my head and stand there very still. I mean, I had to remind myself to breathe because, like I said, everything that was being talked about, what I believe, was right there in front of me, being told to me by them, themselves, by them. And so what happened was I started watching, and the first thing that comes to me, I mean this is all automatic, okay? It was the Navy SEALs. Well, I think right away I think of Black Ocean. Black Ocean is a secret society in Japan. I also believe that there's another one called the Black Dragon. So I'm thinking Black Ocean. Then right away I'm starting to think about Operation Paperclip. I'm thinking Kleck and his father being Navy, and on and on and on. Okay, so but that happens within a split second. It's like bang, 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 bang. This is how it's going with me. Bang, bang, bang. All right. So that goes, and then you see them introduce the electronics, the technology, and this is what they have given us, the technology. Okay, they had spoiled us with this technology, you can say, taking care of us in this way through technology. So then you see a little girl in red and she's singing, and the first thing that comes to me, I mean, it's like a bang bang. I'm looking at the little girl in the red coat, the Schindler's List, right? I'm thinking now Holocaust, Hitler, okay, bang bang, right? So now I'm watching this little girl and she's singing, and what she's looking at is she's looking at a bunch of kids who's carrying their flag. And all these kids are in outfits of their country. no adults, just the children, and holding this flag. And right away, again, bang, bang, I'm looking at the Denver airport, the mural with all the kids in their native clothing, okay? But there's no flags. There's the odd flag wrapped around a bunch of swords. So I'm thinking Esau, I'm thinking, that he lived by the sword, right? So then you see the flags, you see the sword, you also see that the other countries don't have a flag. They're only wearing the clothing, they don't have a flag. Okay. So then the children hand the flag over to the soldiers, the military, and then they put the flag on the pole. As it's going up, the children are absolutely, this, to me, it was an absolute shock when, I'm thinking to myself, this is happening really fast with me. And then you see the children, they have their hand up and doing the salute of Hitler. And it's only the children that are doing it. There's nobody else in the stadium, nobody, but the children with their hands doing the salute, the Hitler salute to the flag. So you can see with me, everything's going bang, 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 right? Like it's happening really fast. I'm seeing it. Okay, so we got to remember that, Germany, they worship Odin, which comes from Adam. Odin was also known as Kosh or Kush, which was also in China. Now, the Edomite gave rise to the ruling class of Japan. All right, so they worship the same. So you can understand that the Hitler was there saluting the flag of, China. Okay, so now what they're doing is they're going to show you how they make their scroll, okay, which is again a major theme in their ceremony. So when they do that, I knew right away at this point we're going to be looking at the whole history of them. They're going to start from the very beginning to the very end here. So this is, was something that I thought was interesting, being that I understand who they worship as far as being, Baal and so forth. So, okay. So I'm watching this and I noticed that there's a bowl, a water bowl. It's a dragon. And he takes the brush and as he turns and he makes a circle in the water, the black ink comes out. It becomes black. So he does the circle and then it goes black. Just like this one here, the dragon in the black in the circle. Okay. So then during this time, what you're going to see is that it's like a magnet. It's like a river underneath the scroll. So the story's being told and it looks like it's a flow, like a river underneath that it's being moved. Okay. It was, and I just, like, I'm thinking of the magnetic river. I'm seeing this as the scroll and how, this is all turning out. I had to keep going. Right. So I'm looking at this now. I'm also noticing here at this when I'm watching this that the colors are very dominant, and it's the colors red and orange are very dominant. They're always side by side. And I started to realize as I was watching that the red was Adam and the orange was the sun. There was no question with the mountains and the sun. It was so dominant. It was very simple. They took an orange sheet and all they did in sequence is they would do like a body art and they drew the mountains first, then they were doing the river, and then they did the sun. And that's all that's on this orange paper, okay, or platform. Okay, so this is what they do, and this is carried right through the whole ceremony. Now, I found it just absolutely, without question, what was happening here, what I was looking at. Everything that I was talking about when I first was introduced to this shaman, and I was listening about Africa, and then I'm looking, okay, I want to go ancient Africa. Then I found out Ethiopia, the river, and here we had the magnetic river, and here's the river that I had in the picture showing this. It was all just coming together. It was just just a flood coming in. And so I'm looking at all this and I'm saying, okay, now, I mean, this, okay. So there's a guy that's standing on this orange sheet that looks like a piece of paper. And he's standing there. And what he does is he comes straight towards the camera and he holds up this plaque. And this plaque was a spoon. All I saw at first was a spoon. And I'm blocked at that point. I'm not kidding. I'm thinking that doesn't make sense. Why would they go out of their way to show the world a plaque with a spoon? And so I walked away because, I mean, it stopped me. I was stumped. And so I can't, and I go to lay down, and I'm not even laying down for a minute, and it's like, bang, there it is. It was Genesis. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red porridge, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. It was right there. He was holding it up for everybody. And if you don't know your scriptures and you don't know the history, you wouldn't have a clue what it meant, why a man would stand there at the Olympics and look right into the camera and hold it up just to say that he was holding up what? Do you understand? So this hit me really hard. And then the closing of that was all about the boats, the sailboats, and how they came across the ocean and the waters. And, you know, it was all there. Everything was right there. The sailboats, the color orange and red came together like it was just, you know, Esau, the sun, the worshiping of the, you know, Baal. They at the end of the ceremony of the second part, like at the ending up at the games, they showed you where they're worshiping Baal, where they're, you know, you have the what do you call that tower, the Babel Tower, and they have like the girls in white. I don't know whether they'd be sacrifices or brides. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're sacrifices. And right on the tower, you will see that they look like the virus. It looks like the virus. Period. I can't say anything else. You'll have to check it out yourself. You know, but this is what I was seeing. So then you got to think, you know, when they were showing all of this, right? With the technology, what they have there, you know, it says right here in scriptures, okay? And by the sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the domain, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And I believe that's exactly what is happening. You see, because even within the ceremony, they show you a ball coming out of the ground, and first it looks like the earth. Okay, they show earth, and then all of a sudden, you know, you've got people that walk around, right? They're walking around this ball. Then they show it. It's all green. Everything is all green. The ball's green, and you see the men. They're running around, and then it just goes boom. It goes red. It just goes like a blood red, and right away, you know, I'm seeing, you know, Esau, Edom, right? Kosh, and with the men that are running around the ball, it does look like the virus. And yeah, well, you'd have to decide that. So when he says here that, you know, the domain, you're seeing now a lot of countries that are waking up to what has already been done by the Chinese and okay, but I'm going to get into that, but not right yet. Okay, so when I looked at all of this, Oh, sorry, I forgot one more thing. At the end of them doing the whole tower thing, the Babel Tower, uh, they show you at the end how they bring in 2012 with London and the Olympics. And I always thought that you had to put in a bid to see whether the Olympics would play within your country. But here they had 2012 come in. And when they did that, they brought in a double-decker bus, a red double-decker bus. And so it stops, and you see a bunch of people going towards the bus, and they're in a slow zombie kind of way approaching the bus. Really creepy. So when the doors open, there's a young girl, and she comes out of the bus, right? So you've got her in a red bus, but she's not wearing the red, okay? The difference there is important, because now she goes and she gets a ball, I think it's a soccer ball. And when she receives the soccer ball, okay, she ends up walking on the backs of people when she goes back to the bus. So she's not walking on the ground, she's walking on bodies. It's really creepy. And when there's a dancer that's dancing around the bus, okay, he has a hand on his, like it's his t-shirt, and it's a hand, it's a green hand. And it makes the connection to London. And again, the first thing that comes to me is Raj Patel. And that platform, remember when I showed you the two viruses, the London Bridge? Like, you can even hear him as he approaches the podium. He acknowledges the pictures. He doesn't even have to stop and think about what those are. He recognizes what they are immediately. So right away, I thought of Raj Patel. I thought of him on the podium with the pictures of the virus. And then him with the hand, trying to see whether his hand matched the Mahadi, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So that was, and then the 2012, you can actually see the house, there's a house that's right in the middle, and it shows all the, the wiring, the electricity or whatever, the frequency, the whatever they're buzzing us with, the 5G, the you know what I'm talking about, And I was just looking at that and I'm thinking, that's what we look like. That's what every house looks like today with the 5G. And you could see the lightning bolt. You can see a lot in 2012 in that ceremony. When you see the bell, there's a bell, and you could see the birds coming out from underneath the bell. I thought of Jonathan Clef right away. I just thought of him right away. He was there at the beginning, when I looked at the Navy, and he was there at the end when I finished the 2012. So I'm going to leave some markers about those two where I can point out real quick where to look for these things. But they do the elbow thing for the virus with the kids in the bed. I know that. Yeah, so there was really a lot there to look at and to really soak in about what is happening, and that it's very real. And I started to see, well, we'll talk about that later. But right now, I think for now, I want to just leave it at this with the why I was shut down was just because I'm doing what I'm doing here, but I was showing you the clips, and I was, I did a few scriptures as I went along, and it wasn't because of the title, because I changed it immediately, and then I put up another video, the same video, and it was again refused. So it was the contents that was in that, and really, I mean, I couldn't believe the guy just standing there with the spoon in the bowl. I mean, right away, what do you, wow, just, yeah, so understanding that, this was the blessing that was given, to Esau. And I'll just read it out again. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the domain, that thou shalt break his oak from off thy neck. And like I said, that's what I think has happened here. Okay, so real quickly here, I just want to say, okay, the meaning behind the name of Adam. Okay, I'm going to read this out. I don't know exactly, but behind the name is what it's called here. The history, okay, Adam is the Hebrew word for man. It could be, okay? It's a wide open door there, okay? It could be ultimately derived from Hebrew, meaning to be red, referring to the ruddy color of human skin, or from, I can't say that, meaning to make, okay? So meaning to make, or it could be to be red. It has nothing to do with blood, but color, red. When we speak of red, we speak of Esau being born red with a hairy garment all over, okay? And what we're talking about here, when we see him wearing the orange and the red, the worshiping of Esau and the worship, the sun, the worshiping of the sun, okay? This has nothing to do with the blood, the meaning of Adam's name, because it means man. Earth. Right? So when he's talking about this, he's telling you that he's being told to wear all red. The birth, to me, that sounds so much like the birth of Esau, you know, being all red, you know, and then the color of the sun. But anyway, I wanted you to see this, okay? So man, earth, okay, and what? Okay, I just want you to hear him out. And what else did it say about that? Okay, a ruddy color of human skin, okay. But no blood. It doesn't say any blood here.
By the way, the name Adam, if you look at the root of the word, it means to show blood, red. It literally means red. And so, the width of...
You know, you have to remember too, it really doesn't make sense, because we understand and we know, we don't just understand, we know it's science, that our blood is blue. The only time we see it as red is when we get a cut. And when it's exposed to the oxygen, your blood turns red. Okay, and that's the only time it turns red. But in your skin, if you look, your blood is blue, right? Okay, so I'm just going to play out here him ringing the bell.
Go ahead and pause it. And Lord Jesus, Father. 3:16. For God so loved...
And I don't know what he says there.
Lord Jesus, Father. 3:16. A little bit for everybody. All right, so we're getting ready to read. All right, you ready, Corey? Yep. Go ahead and pause it. And Lord Jesus, Father. 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten, his only born Son, that whosoever believeth on him should not perish, but have eternal life. So my birthday is 3:16. Today is my birthday. Happy birthday. John 3:16 is the day, Mark 16. So I'm going to read this thing, and I'm going to do what he said. So here we go. You ready? Let's pause it.
Okay, and so you're seeing the orange. You can see the red. Okay, his red, he's wearing a red cloth underneath the hat, right? So orange being the sun, and red being Adam.
Father. Start with the rings. Okay, so here we go. Birthday ring, John 3:16 ring. I feel your presence.
Okay.
No more tears and no more sorrow. 1776 literally means sorrow, Adam. And it makes a U. And also, the Lord pointed out, it's also like a face, like the devil. You became the devil. So that's very interesting. So here's
you became the devil. Did you hear him say that?
Saddle. Here's
you became the enemy. Okay, whatever. All right. So you see here. I'm trying to get back to the. Oh, you're kidding me.
Sleep on it. So I'm gonna be putting up this this bell.
Okay. You know, so I want you to actually go over it yourselves. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the lyrics of Hell's Bells. I looked into this because I'm just laying there and I'm thinking, you know, going over the whole bell thing, you know. I mean, Bell TV, Bell, you know, something to do with the bells. Everything had to do with the bells where I was going with it anyway. So I started playing around with it, and I realized, and I looked into it, that you know they play a bell in the stadiums. In every stadium, there's a bell, and when they're playing football, it's every third down that they ring this bell, and it's very eerie, and a lot of people don't like this bell, but they do play this bell. I noticed in the Olympics that they had played bells. And in 2012, you can see this huge bell, and then you can see the birds coming out of the ground underneath the bell, and they're all coming out. And there's only one that flies up in the air. Okay, this is really important. And so I'm looking at this bell, and this has really reminded me of Jonathan Gleck when I'm looking at the ceremony of 2012 with the bell, and then those birds coming out of the bottom, and then the one guy going up as though he's flying in midair. I did when I was looking at the other one too, the 2008. I also noticed that they were dressed in yellow as though they were the sun, and they were jingling the bells. They were all full of bells, bell hats, you know, necklace, that sort of thing, and they were just jingling it, you know. So yeah, so what was going on with the bells? Then I'm laying there, and it comes to me, check out the lyrics of Hell's Bells. And that's what I did. Okay, so it reads, the first verse, I'm a rolling thunder, pouring rain, I'm coming on like a hurricane. My lightning's flashing across the sky. You're only young, but you're going to die. Chorus, I won't take no prisoners, won't spare no lives. Nobody's putting up a fight. I got my bell. I'm going to take you to hell. I'm going to get you, Satan, get you. Hell's bells, yeah, hell's bells. You got me ringing hell's bells. My temperature's high, hell's bells. I'll give you black sensation up and down your spine. If you're into evil, you're a friend of mine. See my white light flashing as I split the night. Cause it good, 'cause if good's on the left, then I'm sticking to the right. I won't take no prisoners, won't spare no lives. Nobody's putting up a fight. I got my bell, I'm going to take you to hell. I'm going to get you, Satan, get you. Hell's bells, oh hell's bells. You got me ringing hell's bells. My temperature's high, hell's bells. Hell's bells, Satan's coming to you. Hell's bells, he's ringing them now. Those hell's bells, the temperature's high. Hell's bells across the sky. Hell's bells, they'll take you down. Hell's bells, they'll drag you under. Hell's bells, gonna split the night. Hell's bells, there's no way to fight. Yea, it says. This is very important. Across the sky, okay? And this was the video that followed this here, okay? See my white light flashing as I split the night. And this was the following video. Okay, so this is, this was just following, okay, so.
Up, and something came from the south. This is looking up in the sky where the lyrids were supposed to be originating from. And I was outside at 4:56 a.m. I took a screenshot of my sky map. And that's where I was looking. I put these two lines on here because what went overhead was not a lyrid meteor. It started out as a single point of light coming up from the south. It came from this direction down here, or actually over here to the right, and went across the screen like that, from right to left, south to north. As it got right in here, it split in two. One light went that way, the second light went to the northwest, the first one went to the northeast. One became two, and they went in opposite directions. Look, I see satellites out in the sky all the time. Not only since the beginning of the new Starlink satellite train that we see going around the world all the time, even long before then, I'd see little orbs up in the sky, and I knew they were LEOs, low Earth orbit satellites. And this was different. It was one single point of light that split into two. Had never seen anything like it. However, when I first saw it, it looked familiar like a low Earth orbiting satellite. It was at that height. It was much higher than the International Space Station. Maybe it was because it looked smaller. I don't know. But split in two right out here in southeast Phoenix.
So you can see again here in this chorus. And this is the long version, by the way. Hell's bells, Satan's coming to you. Hell's bells, he rings them now. Those hell's bells, the temperature high, the hell's bells across the sky. Hell's bells, they're taking you down. Hell's bells, they're dragging you under. Hell's bells, gonna split the night. Hell's bells, there's no way to fight, which we know was a lie, of course, but again, this is all, you know, with the bell. And, you know, it was really, you know, standing out to me also in this verse 2 here. I'll give you black sensation up and down your spine. And this is when you're hearing Jonathan Clegg always, you know, ooh, you know, he's getting jolts and, you know, he's got his little shaking going on, you know, and this is exactly what this is talking about here, black sensations up and down your spine. So no fear, be love, and give hope. I don't have much time to put out scripture here, so I've only got about a minute left here or so. Okay, so yeah, all right. No fear, be love, and give hope, and hope to talk to you soon. So the reason for the video going down was the context, what I was saying. I guess I was, you know, lining it up with scripture. And like I say, the real true color of our blood is blue. And with the oxygen, when it's exposed to the oxygen, it becomes red. Okay, so no fear, be love, and give hope.